Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today, leading into your new year and your 2020. I'm Audrey Jacobson. I am a body mind coach and licensed massage therapist. And I am leading this workshop today called Creating Affinity in 2020. So this workshop is really about leading you into a place of setting intentions and making decisions, coming from a place of love instead of fear, instead of this aspect of chasing and going after something from a place of lack or fear. So I'm so excited that you're here to join me today. I'm going to go through the information and I'm going to go through a meditation and a decision-making process. And after we go through the basic part, the workshop aspect, more like the informational side, we'll go into a question and answer and anything that comes up for you, please let me know and I'll be happy to answer some questions at the end. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is a few topics. I'm going to define affinity for you. So affinity is kind of through this process I came to this word for myself. So I'm going to tell you what it means for me and then what it may mean for you as we go through resolutions versus intentions. We'll do an embodiment meditation, and then from that we'll determine what is your affinity. Then we'll go into what it means to create a life that serves you and making empowered decisions. Okay, so that's just a little bit of what we're going to cover. So we'll start with defining affinity. So affinity is a theory or a concept in chemistry where different molecules or compounds come together in a way which produces massive quantities of energy. And then in the wake of these unstable compounds, so you have different molecules, if we get into like the science of it, we have different molecules that come together. And if you know anything about chemistry, or you even just took that class back in school, sometimes when molecules exchange electrons, they produce a lot of energy and they create chemical reaction. And sometimes that creates an explosion, like fireworks. That's why fireworks are all over this, or light, heat. So they come together, they exchange electrons, or they bond together. They create this this powerful release of energy that leaves a beautiful, stable, new compound in their wake. So after this coming together, this explosion, this heat, this light, this whole new compound is left. And that compound is stable. It doesn't react to anything else. I like to think of it as the peace and the calm. So when we talk about, we shift from chemistry into our own lives, sometimes we have these elements running around, these different things in our life which are swirling and feeling really unstable, feeling like moving all through our lives, creating chaos or stress or pain. And when we go through this process of learning to combine them and kind of bring them together, sometimes it's painful, Sometimes it creates an explosion. Sometimes it just, it creates light. Sometimes it's a good, sometimes there's like a good reaction, and sometimes there's like a negative reaction. But if we go about it in the right way, we can create a new way of being, which is stable and new and beautiful, and that's the goal. So that's kind of what led me to this concept and this word, and why I'm so drawn to it. So I wanted to share this with you today. So our wonderful body mind coach creator, Laura Wick, took us through this wonderful meditation. And I'm going to do something similar today, but not exactly the same. But I do want to talk to you about resolutions versus intentions before we move into the meditation. So resolutions for the new year are always really big, as everybody knows. Everybody talks about wanting to lose weight, wanting to be healthier, wanting to go to the gym, wanting to meditate, wanting to eat healthier, wanting to improve relationships. So all of those things kind of come from a place of lack. Like, you don't have enough. Like, your body isn't perfect the way that it is, and you need to change it. Your relationship, or the way that you are as your being, is not enough, and that you need to change who you are. Because if you change who you are, maybe people will love you more. And if you change your body, maybe people will love you more. So there's this element of, there's not enough. You aren't enough. Whoever you are, wherever you are, however you are, is not enough. And resolutions lead you on this path of chasing, and it comes from this, like, you have to have the strength to do it. You have to always keep going and keep going, and like willpower is what drives resolutions. Whereas intentions assume that you're whole, assume that you are perfect. So I'm here to tell you, if you don't already know, that you are perfect, that you are loved and you are valued in this world, no matter what you look like, no matter how you are. So like who you are at your core, your deepest, most vulnerable personality, those things that you might try to hide, they're all perfect. And we need you. You are a valuable and important part of this world, and you have something very important to share. And so when we come from the place of intentions assume that you are perfect, that you are whole, and that everything that you need is already inside of you. So when you tap into your body versus chasing a change to your body, when you tap into the body, the energy of your body, the wisdom of your body, when you learn to breathe, when you learn to harness your breath, and you learn simply to listen and be present with the wisdom of your body and everything that it has to offer you, that deep internal peace and the knowledge that you are whole begins to take root. And so that's why intentions are so much more powerful and long-lasting than setting resolutions. So I want to take you now into an embodiment meditation where we're going to explore the concept of what it means to be in your body, to listen to your body, to listen to your body's wisdom. And I invite you to just find a comfortable place to sit. And when you're nice and comfortable and cozy, You can close your eyes if it feels comfortable to you. And we're just going to start by sort of releasing the body. So I would like you to take 3 deep inhales through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. One more deep inhale, exhaling through the mouth. One more deep inhale, exhaling through the mouth and just sighing as you release your body to your breath. You just surrender to the body's wisdom and intelligence and knowing of how to breathe. You don't have to tell it what to do. It just does. It just knows. And so as you breathe and you surrender to the breath and allow the breath to simply be, would you just scan your body and just notice and acknowledge any areas of tension, any thoughts that might be swirling. There's no judgment here. There's no good. There's no bad. You're just acknowledging and sort of taking a snapshot of where things are right now. Our bodies are full of such infinite and amazing wisdom. We have these 3 brains in our body. We have, which you've heard in our culture talked about so much, is the brain in your head, which is the analytical brain. Its job is to ask questions and to analyze what's happening. And then we have the gut brain. That's the brain that is kind of like your intuition. And you hear the sayings of trust your gut. So your gut always kind of knows what the right answer is. Then you have your heart. In our culture, it's the love center. It's the dreamer. The spirit. So we have these 3 brains that work together. And as we surrender to our breath, we just keep allowing that to move, and by focusing on the breath, it brings calm to the body. I want you to begin to bring your attention to your brain, to your head. Noticing the thoughts that are swirling. Noticing what's kind of going on today. And simply acknowledging and saying, thank you. Thank you for being the analytical center. And as you say thank you to your brain, because it has such an important role to play, I want you to begin to think about 2020, this new year that's coming. And as you focus in and tune in to your brain, simply ask it without judgment, just accepting what comes. What might the word for 2020, what might the intention of your brain for 2020 be? just accepting. There's no judging. And when you have that word, that first initial word or phrase, I want you to thank your brain. Thank you to the computer for keeping everything running. And slowly begin to let that awareness trickle down as you exhale. Let that awareness trickle down, down, down your body, down your spine. With every exhale, the energy moves lower until it comes to rest in your pelvic bowl. The pelvic bowl is the gut, the area that enteric nervous system feeling comes from. It's just above your perineum. And as you allow that awareness to settle in the pelvic bowl, to settle into your gut, noticing and acknowledging what energy might be fluttering or moving or wanting to be acknowledged. Just take a moment to acknowledge what's happening there. And as you tune in a little more, just begin to ask that gut brain, what is the word? What is the energy for 2020? Allowing whatever comes, accepting it. There's no judgment. And as you have that word, thank your gut brain, your intuition for leading you, for holding you, for being your roots. And you begin to bring that awareness and that energy up to your heart center. As you inhale, that energy comes up to your heart center, to your chest. That awareness begins to rest. And if there's any energy or movement or feeling occurring in that heart center, simply acknowledge it. Like taking a snapshot, taking a Polaroid. There isn't any judging, it's simply acknowledging, and then you can put it to the side. And as you allow that awareness and that focus to come right into your heart center, ask your heart, what is the intention or the word for 2020 that you have for me? Accepting what comes. And when you have that word, thank your heart. Thank your heart for being that source and center of love and dreaming and possibility. And then I want you to begin to bring the word from the brain and the word from the pelvic bowl, from the gut brain, and start to bring them all together with the word from the heart brain. So you have these 3 words or phrases and begin to bring them together. And if it helps you to breathe a little deeper, bring those 3 energies together. And see and experience what happens when those 3 energies come together, when those 3 words come together. What does it create? Do you see a light or feel an energy, or is a new word created? Is a new phrase created? What's that possibility? What's that new potential? What's that new way of being that is coming to the surface when you bring them all together? What's that possibility for 2020? And I want you to fully bring that energy, that new compound, that new way of being into your heart, and breathe it in and begin to allow it to expand. Allow it to expand as you take deep breaths in. Let it expand from your heart center, moving up towards the brain and down towards the pelvic bowl. Let that light and that energy begin to radiate out, filling every part of your being. Let it radiate out to your feet, to your fingertips, to the top of your head, so that every part of your being is full of that energy. And breathe it in. And allow your heart and your brain and your gut to show you, to give you a vision for the possibility of this next year. As you allow that energy to fill you, look at a year from now, December 30th, 2020. 1 year has passed. As these 3 words, these 3 energies create this new compound, this new way of being as they come together. Ask them to work together to show you what's possible. As you're ready, thank your body. Thank the wisdom of your 3 brains and the full experience of your mind, gut, and heart working together to show you this new possibility. Thank them. You can place a hand on your head and thank your brain for giving you the answers. Place a hand on your gut. Thank it for the intuition and the knowing. And place a hand on your heart, thanking it for being the center of love. Thank it for working all together to lead you into this new way of being. And as you're ready, you can slowly flutter your eyes open. And when we're all done today, I would love for you to sit down and begin to journal and write out all the things that came to you, and discover what is your affinity. What is the thing that, what are the 3 words that came to you? Brain, heart, gut. And then what was the affinity for you? What was the new way, the new thing that came to you as those 3 elements came together? What did it create for you? And we'll talk about this a little bit at the end. But I'm really excited for you to sit and be with that and journal out what that means to you. And the next part, which is a little bit of going up into the head a little bit, is about creating a life that serves you. What does that mean? So as we just found this new possibility, this new way of being, our brain had one thing that we wants to focus on, the gut had one thing, the heart had one thing, and as they came together, you know, they create this whole new energy, which is amazing. So as to create a life that serves you, we need to understand that the rational mind's purpose is to analyze and ask questions. And the intuitive mind, the body, the gut, knows the truth. So making decisions is just a huge part of how that all works together. And so I'd like to take you through a little practice that you, as you found this new way of being, that can help you in making decisions, okay? So this is from the amazing Darla Ledoux, the How to Make Empowered Decision Making. So if you have a piece of paper and you'd like to, you know, jot this down. You can basically just make, you know, a graph. I want you to kind of think of a question or, you know, something that might be on your mind leading into this new year. So you've got this new energy, you've got this new potential way of being, and maybe something came to you in the visualization at the end that you know would love to see happen. But there's like something like, oh well, you know, there's going to be these next steps that have to happen along the way. What I would love you to do is to practice making decisions through this little chart. Okay, so what's amazing about this is that there are reasons to say no to things and yes to things out of fear and love. So fear often is that, you know, lack, that not being enough, that we tend to make the resolutions from. But this is a very, very powerful way to truly allow yourself to explore, you know, what's happening. So why would you, I'd like to use the example of, actually, like, let's say I have a client who wants to have a child, and she wants this, but then she also doesn't, and she's kind of, you know, sitting on the fence, and sitting on the fence is never a comfortable place to be. And so when we go through the reasons to say no out of fear, those reasons might be that I wouldn't be a good parent. My life would be, as I know it, would be destroyed. or ruined or changed. I wouldn't have enough money. So those are reasons to say no to having a child out of fear. Then you move to reasons to say yes. So that would be out of fear. Reasons to say yes out of fear. So those reasons would be like, well, I won't have anyone to take care of me when I'm old. They would be, you know, that what if I regret not having a child when I'm, you know, later, once I can't have children. So those are reasons to say no and to say yes out of fear. Then reasons to say no out of love would be that I love my life and I love my life with my partner in such a way that I don't want to change it. Okay. And then reasons to say yes out of love would be that I know that we would make amazing parents. I've always dreamed of having a child. You know, I can't wait to take my child to the park and to make new family traditions, those kinds of things. So when we get to the question and answer side, we'll explore this a little bit, but I'd like you to just jot that down and use this tool to help you as things come up where you need to make decisions. And when you write these down and you begin to explore reasons to say no and reasons to say yes out of fear and out of love, and you begin to breathe into those, you begin to bring them into your body, you will know what the right answer is. Because the right answer is not always yes. Sometimes the answer is no. So as you write it out and you begin to feel it and you begin to breathe into it, your whole system, so the brain is there to ask the questions, right? And to analyze. Your gut has the answer and your heart wants to lead the way. So when we have that simple tool to help us really map it out so that we can feel into it with our bodies, then we can make empowered decisions. So that's about it. We'll go to question and answer in just a moment, but if you are ready for more and you would like support in moving through empowered decision making and support moving into 2020, I'd love for you to go to the link on the screen, which is bit.ly/connectwithaudreylmt, to schedule your free breakthrough right now, okay? So if you go there, you can schedule, get on a phone call with me that's totally free, and we'll walk through that process and I'll help you discover, you know, what it means, not only to, you know, receive support, but, you know, find out what challenges that you're facing and what the best way to move forward would be. So thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to stick around and we'll go to a question and answer in just a moment, okay? All right.